Okay, we're about to do ski center. That's what it is. Ski center. Ski center. All right. Let me change everything over real quick while we're finishing up ads. And man. There we go. All right. Everybody's still with us. Everybody's so good. Buy that thing. We'll spend the last of our money on that. Let me bump PowerWash up a little bit. That audio looks good. All right. All right. Welcome back to PowerWash, everybody. We're gonna go clean a ski center. To kind of let's get back into a chill mindset. Oh, they put us inside the ski center. Oh no, it put us inside the ski lift. Interesting. Yeah. You know what's funny? I kind of knew the story of Devotion going into it, but man, I forgot about that ending and about the daughter's parts. That was boy howdy, was that a blast to the face. But like I said, that's why I play horror games. There's some things that horror games do very well, and it's approached topics like that, so. But boy howdy, was I not prepared for that as much as I thought I was. Anyways, we're gonna clean this ski center. Hopefully everyone's doing well tonight. Watching some other members of the community play some Demonologist earlier. That was interesting to see. I haven't really seen much Demonologist since it released, and I remember when they showed the demo off for that, and they had like all these like, oh, if you read this word, there's an interaction, and I was like, oh, that's really cool, and it was interesting to see that game again. Because I don't really think I've played, like, basically any, like, ghost hunting games outside of Phasmo and that little bit of Demonology that I played, like, way back, like I said, when it was released. But I don't know. Like I said, one of the goals for this year is to get into, like, the collaborative stuff, so maybe we'll get into some cool stuff this year. But there was a sequence where they were looking for the ghost, and the ghost decided to pop up in one of the like garments in the level, and it was like, that's one way to show yourself, I guess. Just surprise wedding dress. It was interesting because, like, I remember when I played the demo, it was like when the ghost showed up, it stays like visible, but I think that's only when you're doing like the exorcism portion. But again, I have not played it since like release essentially, so I have no earthly idea how that game works now. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch as much as I would like, because I was getting ready for stream, so. That's the only problem with streaming as much as I do, is there's so many, like, people I want to watch. Oh, you had to clean the car for them to let you out. That's horrific to think about. It's like, don't clean the car? Never get out of here. There's so many, like, awesome people that I'm like, dude, I would love to sit here and just watch, like, hours and hours of, like, teammates' content, but then it's like, I would never stream again. Because there's just too many awesome people to watch. But I also, like, I also realize that, like, if I don't stream as much as I do, then I am never going to get through all the stuff that I need to get through. I keep saying need. I'm trying to break the habit of saying need and more like want, because I do want to stream this much. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, I have to do this. I do want to stream this much because I do want to play the things that we're playing. It's just, man, we've got a lot of stuff to do. There's just so much content to create. So much content to create. And I hope people are enjoying it. We're doing a lot of stuff. And you know, things like devotion and Amori. You know, the horror stuff is always going to be a focus on the channel too. And you know, I really like being a part of the Crypt stream team, and I'm trying my best to, you know, be as active with the team as possible too. And it's just like, there's just, like I said, there's just so many, like, great people doing that stuff, and it's just like, I feel like every day I'm just like, oh, there's someone I need to interact with, there's someone I need to interact with. It's just like, man, I really hope that people don't think I'm, like, disregarding people because I'm not interacting with certain people as often as others, and it's just like, man, there's, like, 60 plus, 70 plus people on this team. I'm trying my best, man. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get to everybody. I'm trying to raid everybody, and, you know, some people are just, they stream at that one time where I can't, like, raid into them, and it's just like, oh, please, just give me an hour. Just give me an hour of overlap, and I will raid into you, I promise. I will try my best to find the perfect, like, window to, like, raid into you and get the community to say hello, and because I really do want to, like, meet as many people as possible. I've talked about it before, like, one of the main reasons I do this is because, like, the thing that, you know, we leave behind are the memories we make, and, you know, part of that is, like, the connections, right? So, you know, I want to make sure that we're meeting and interacting with all the members of the team, or as many of them as we can, and, you know, and it's weird too, because, like, I don't want to, like, mention to everybody that, like, I stream. I just want to, like, go in their chat and just, like, learn what they're into and talk about, like, what their favorite games are and what horror games they like, and if they like retro games, what retro games they grew up with. Because you'd be surprised, like, how many people are like, oh yeah, I played this game, or this was my, you know, this was the game I remember the most. It's like, oh really? You know, you don't hear that one too often. Like, I think it was Leave the other night mentioned, like, oh, no one knows about Zool, which is not to be confused with the Ghostbusters Zool. It's ZOOL, right? Like, it was an old console game. And, like, I played Zool. I actually know Zool. You know, and it's fun. It's just fun little conversations like that I want to have with people and be like, oh, I know that game, or oh, tell me about that game. I've actually not heard about that game, you know? It's like, I want to have those conversations with as many people as possible, because there's really cool stuff that it's like, oh, I haven't heard about that. I had someone come in with the raid. Is it today? Yeah, I think it was today. Susie had recommended me to Doobie DJ, who we met today, who I followed, and I'm gonna definitely check out the content of when I get a chance. And somebody came in and was like, "Oh, I love Cold Fear. That's like my favorite retro horror game." And I literally pulled it off the shelf, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's right here," you know. And it's just cool meeting people because like Cold Fear is not one you hear very often, but it's just cool to know that like someone knows about that game, you know, and just let them feel the hype of seeing their favorite game again, you know. It's just cool to stuff. That again, that's part of the reason why I do this. Is just to make those connections and stuff. And I want to do that with my team, and I want to do that with my community. But there's just not enough not enough time in the day, and unfortunately, to kind of like piggyback on, you know, the devotion stuff is when you deal with like 5 different chronic illnesses. It's just like you only have so much energy, and you know, it weighs on me. Because again, I'm just like, I want to be everywhere all at once. I need extra 17 hours just to say hello to all the streaming friends. And okay, where is this edge? There's got to be an edge to this floor, right? Okay, where is... Okay, it's right here. It's basically the halfway point here. I was like, there's got to be an edge to this floor where this floor is. And I know, like, people have been like, you know, just do what you can, you know, people will see that, people are happy with that, and I'm like, yeah, but I got to do more, you know. Said always more, always more. But I just, you know, I just want to make sure that I'm doing as much as I can, you know. Because there's a lot of I've talked about it before about like positive impact and how important that stuff is, and like people sometimes just they really underplay how important just in positive impact can be, right? Like you'd be surprised just paying someone a compliment, or just like thanking them for assisting you with a thing, or you know, like how far something is like seems so simple can go. um but like it really is important to do that stuff. And like I talk about it probably way too much, but I do everything too much anyways. At this point I don't care. I will continue to do good things too much, because at the end of the day I don't think you really can do good things too much. But like, but it's just one of those things that's just like you can. I was talking about, I don't know who I was talking to. Someone was talking about like, oh, I'll never change the world, and I've always repeated something that I learned back in like high school, and it's like you don't have to change the world, you just have to change your world, right? And by changing your world, you are changing the world, right? Because by changing your world, you're also changing someone else's world, right? Like it's just it's the little things, right? And like you hear that phrase all the time. It's like, well, that doesn't seem like a big deal, and it's like it really is. It really is a big deal. Okay, do these skis have... What is up with these skis? Like, why did they not... They have something in between them or something? What is going on? Oh, they're already clean. Okay. I was like, did I miss something with these skis? Okay. But, you know... But it's just like the little acts of kindness, the little you know, compliments and stuff. And like, I even don't even like calling them little, because again, the little things that we call little can have huge impacts. So, like, I don't know. Like I said, I just want to make sure I'm doing everything I can to let people know, and helping as many people as I can, and spreading as much kindness as I can. You know, because there's a lot of people out there, you know, that are struggling with stuff, and you know, if there's any little thing that I can do to help with that. I've talked about it before, about just, you know, even if I can just brighten their day just a little bit, a good joke here, or some silly moment there, or just you know, something to make their day a little bit better, then, you know, I'm doing my job, and that's really all that I can truly ask of myself. Okay. Why is this wall not popping? Oh, it's probably because there's... Do we have a... We don't have a thing. I need a ladder, then. I was like, it's probably because there's... Yeah, right there. I guess I could probably get to the top of this bar, too. But... And, like, I'm also always trying to, like, help people, too. Which, I realize... I realize sometimes, like, people take as, like, oh, you're trying to be, like, a know-it-all and stuff like that. And at first I was like, oh, well, I need to stop to, like, telling people stuff. And then, like, as I've gotten older, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna tell people stuff, and if they take it as, like, being a know-it-all, they can just take it like that, man. Like, I'd rather people have the information and not need it than to not have the information. like, I don't know. I just... One of the beauties of getting older is just realizing that sometimes people will get upset at you for helping them, and you just have to be okay with that. So some people... Now, of course, that comes with the caveat of there are certain times that, like, not helping them is the right choice. You know, like, sometimes you just need to listen to someone instead of giving them advice. Right, like, in some cases, people don't need advice, they just need a, you know, a helpful ear or listening ear kind of thing. Like, there are cases where you don't need to give advice, but there are some times where it's like, no, here's the information you need. You can do with it what you wish, but, you know. But there are a lot of people that go off of a lot of, like, misinformation or disinformation. And sometimes it's not even really their fault, right? They were just... Someone had lied to them or purposely misinformed them or whatever, right? Like, and then just no one had given them the useful or correct information. So, like, sometimes it's not legitimately just not their fault. They were just not corrected or told. So that's why, like I said, as I gotten older, I was like, oh, you know, maybe I'll just tell them, and, you know, they can do with it as they wish. And if they think I'm a know-it-all and trying to be rude or whatever, then, you know, they can think that, but at least they have the information. I can know within my heart of hearts that they have the information they need to make an educated decision on what to do next. And if they decide to keep making the uneducated decision, well, now that's on them. I am not responsible for the decisions other people make. Once they have once they have the information they need, which, by the way, that's a whole different learning experience all into itself. Learning that you have no control over other people's poor decision making, we'll call it. Because, boy howdy, sometimes when people have the reins, they don't always make the, we'll say, the best decision for their own well-being. They will do some very wild things with their free will. But they are, as long as they are not hurting themselves or anyone else, they are welcome to their free will, you know? It's some wild people out there, man. Some wild people. But it's a good old rodeo, as they like to call it. But yeah, it's crazy to me how much stuff has changed over the past year for me and for the channel and stuff. Like it's, I mean, the past few years have felt like a literal decade because of all the stuff that's going on / gone on. But there's just crazy amount of things that have like changed, and I've met so many like amazing people. Like it is legitimately like just awe-inspiring sometimes, just all the people that I've met, because it feels like I've known some people like way longer than I have. Some people you just like really connect with, and there's also like a lot of people that I'm still trying to connect with too, or at least connect with better, I guess is a better way of putting it. So mind the gap. But, oh! Hey! Welcome in, Jason! How are you doing? Oh, it already did the shout-out. I keep forgetting I turned on auto shout-outs through Siri, but welcome in! Welcome in, everybody. If you don't know who I am, Master Games play a variety of games here on the channel, mostly horror, mostly retro. We just finished our horror game for the night, which was Devotion. It's a very good game. Hopefully you had a good time over there with Jason playing some Resident Evil 4. I'm guessing it's the remake, right? Were you doing... I think I saw you posted doing Ada's stuff. Did you finish Ada's stuff tonight? But anyways, welcome in. If you don't know who I am, I think I just said that. Anyways, we play mostly horror, mostly retro. But I do appreciate the raid. If you need a raid run for any reason, get you some food, get you some water, or go take a nap. I completely understand. Just throw us a follow. Come back when you can. We'd love to have you. Also, if you haven't stopped by before, feel free to just tell us what's your favorite horror game, what's your favorite retro game, or if you have one, what's your favorite retro horror game. Love to hear from you, or if you want to, just feel free to keep lurking. We're just finishing out the stream by washing up a ski center in PowerWash 2. So, but I do appreciate the raid. Played the remake, finished up separate ways. Messed around with Mercenaries for a bit. Nice. Nice. So are you all prepared for Requiem now, or you got a little bit more to go? You got any more things on the docket before Requiem drops? All set after Village. Okay, so you're gonna hit Village up. So I think what Requiem's in what, a couple weeks? I don't know. I haven't been really keeping track of it myself, but we played this week and all set for Requiem. Nice. February 27th. Very nice. Very nice. Yep. I knew it was soon. I knew it was soon. Very cool. So are you playing that on release? I'm guessing you are, right? You're gonna release day that thing. Made plans. Alright, very good, very good. Also, anybody that's here and hasn't already followed our friend Jason Plays, make sure you go follow Jason. Also, if you're going to follow Jason Plays, as you can see from his name, it says Jason Plays YT, which means YouTube. Jason Plays also has a YouTube channel, which he streams too, so make sure you follow him on YouTube as well, so you can get all that great YouTube content. So, go follow him on both platforms, so you can get all the content. You will not regret it. So. But again, welcome in everybody. But cool. Have you played Village before, or is this going to be a first playthrough? As soon as it drops, should be set to stream. Nice. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be a while before I even touch Requiem. Not jumping on the train myself, but we'll definitely be checking out the friends who play it, be listening to what their thoughts are. Play okay, cool. So you don't have any surprises waiting for you in RE8. I wasn't sure. Some people are playing a lot of the Resident Evils for the first times, preparing for Requiem. So, but very cool, very cool. You got any other playthroughs going on right now, or is it just the Resident Evils? I know you usually have like two playthroughs. Did you finish that Isla game? What'd you think of that overall? I know you were playing that. That AILA thing. I've seen a few people play that, but I haven't actually like watched too much of it. Wasn't sure if I was gonna play it, so I didn't want to spoil too much if I did. YouTube finished Isla. Actually liked it. Some of the bosses are pretty fun. Nice. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, there's probably not going to be too much in the way of new games that I'm probably going to be playing on stream. Ironically, the only new game that I'm going to rush on release day is going to be a remake of an old game, ironically, which is going to be the Fatal Frame 2 remake. We are definitely playing that on release, but outside of that, probably just going to be a lot of stuff from the backlog. We're going to be knocking out some older titles and some things I've been meaning to play for a while. But be diving into Evil Within. Nice. Have you played Evil Within before? I know I basically asked that for every older game, but it's always a good question. You never know what people have played before, so. Been a long time, so I forget a ton of stuff. Nice. I'll be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of the first game, but I really liked the second. I think the second is a really good game. I really enjoyed the second game, so I hope you have fun with the games. You'll have to come back and tell us what you think once you get through them. Are you gonna play both of them or just the first one? Okay. I was wondering if we could clean that whole light from there. Okay, I'm gonna go crazy for a second there and try to get this edge up here. One, play the first, but it's not on PS5, so it'll be the second game. Oh, okay. So you're just playing the second game. Okay, I thought you were gonna play both of them. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Yeah, no, I love the second game. I really didn't like the first game, which made it. I'll be honest, made some of the Evil Within fans a little upset with me. They were like, how do you like the second game and not like the first game? The first game's great, and it's like, I mean, I just don't. It's just not my cup of tea. Just not my cup of tea, folks. But no, I really like the which is interesting because that game actually has a lot more stealth to it than I was expecting. But I really enjoyed the second game. So cool, cool, cool. Yeah, still, you need to stop on by and tell us how you feel about it when you get through on that. I'm very interested to see what you think. Okay. But very cool. So Evil Within and some Resident Evil. Sounds like you got you some solid survival horror planned for the next month. So that should be a good one. Should be some good month. Plan on fishing it by next Friday. Gonna start Reanimal. Nice. Is Reanimal out? I didn't realize Reanimal was out. That one I'm interested in. I'm not super... Next Friday. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I wasn't really interested in Little Nightmares 3 because it wasn't the same devs. Because the Little Nightmares devs are making Reanimal. So I was like, I'm probably going to play Reanimal. I'm probably not going to play Little Nightmares 3. So, yeah. Gosh, there's so much stuff. I don't know. I'll get to all the stuff eventually. Eventually. Tons of releases this month. Yeah, a lot of horror releases too. You'd think it'd be closer to the end of the year, but like we're getting just a ton of horror releases within the next month. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Not that I'm complaining any. We do love our horror releases. Reanimal, Chapter 5 for Poppy Playtime. Of course, Requiem. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, no, so now that we've finished Devotion, we're gonna go... We've got a... 1, 2... 3, 4. We've got a 5-game. We've got a 5-game horror series that we're gonna boot up. That we're gonna do next. We're still working on. We just hit the 3-star town for Animal Crossing, so we're gonna be. Getting to all the new features for that very, very soon. We're still working on our friends' favorite retro game stuff. So in that we just got to the Forest Temple and Ocarina of Time. So we're making some good progress on that. And then yeah, so those are the things we're working on. But yeah, so we got a big horror series coming up. I won't spoil what it is, but now that we've finished Devotion today, which I knew wasn't going to take more than one stream, but we're gonna be doing a horror series. Should be a good time. And then we'll be doing all sorts of other horror stuff. I don't, I'm trying not to spoil too much of my upcoming stuff because I like people being like, "Oh my God, you're playing that game?" It's like, yeah, we're doing that game. But I don't know. I feel like it adds to the crazy vibe when we pull out games that people are like, "Oh my God, it's that game! I haven't seen that game in X amount of years." Got to keep the audience surprised. Yeah, I will say I did announce on our team chat that I was doing Devotion tonight, but I'm not sure if many people knew what it was, to be honest, because the game came out in like 2019, so I'm not sure if many people were privy to what Devotion was. But it was a very good. It was a very good time. I really like Devotion as a horror game. It's just, unfortunately, it's not on Steam or anything, so you have to get it through Red Candle Games, and it's like a 2.5 hour game, but it's like $16, so it's a little pricey. So if you're not like really invested in getting it, then most people probably won't play it. So, which I understand. I said that in our review. It's like, look, if you're not interested in investing that much into it, I completely understand. But at least in this case, like when you buy it, you own it. You know, unlike Steam games where when you buy them, you're buying a license, and Steam can take it down anytime they would like, which they've been doing more and more as of late, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed, but they took down like 10 games recently. So I don't know. I just I'm really getting into making sure I own the games I buy, because I'm not a fan of spending $60 on something I don't own, and then having a store go, yeah, that $60 you spent, not yours anymore. But unfortunately, for a lot of indie titles, there's not really a choice. You can't really get, can't really get physical copies of a lot of indie games. It's starting to become less common. There's a lot of indie games that are teaming up with some physical, like, media places to get some of them printed, but... Oh, that's a... Okay. I thought the gray spot was where it was dirty. That's where it was clean. Yikes. But, okay. Alright, I think we've got most of this area except... Okay. So this is where the deck floor ends. It's essentially right there. Just marking it off. But yeah, no, it's good to hear that you're chugging along with all the Resident Evils and stuff. I know there's a good bit of those. Believe me, we spent most of the year doing it ourselves, so... It's fun grind, yeah. There's a lot of people getting into it. It's very interesting, because, like, I'm very curious how many people are, like, truly enjoying the series. Because I know there's a lot of people that are probably, like, getting into the hype because of, like, the release of Requiem and stuff. So I'm very curious how many people are like, yeah, I actually really like these games, and how many of them are like, they're alright, Because, like, I always think back to, like with the Silent Hill games, like, not every Silent Hill game is going to be a winner with everybody, right? So I feel like it's probably the same with, like, Resident Evil. There's probably some, like, Resident Evil games where people are like, It's all right. uh. All right. Let's see. Entrance bench, window frame, and entrance sign. But yeah, there's a lot of people in the community and the stream team that I've seen that have been also grinding away at the Resident Evils, which is nice. It's nice to see the community like come together and play a lot of the same games, because you know it gets everybody kind of talking about stuff. That's why I'm so excited for the Fatal Frame remake, because I want people to be like, oh, what's, you know, this is my first Fatal Frame. What is the rest of these about? And I'm like, oh, let me tell you about some Fatal Frame, you know. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Okay, that's the bunch. The Silent Hill games, I really enjoyed 2 Remake. I do like F. It's combat. Yeah, a lot of people had problems with the combat. I've played... See, that's the funny thing about playing like older games, is I'm used to some whack combat, like some really whack combat. So like that stuff didn't bother me. And I love the story of F. I really, really like the story of F. I like this, like the symbolism. I like how the story is told. Like no joke. Like Silent Hill F has become like my 3rd favorite Silent Hill game. Like at first I thought it was recency bias, but we're multiple months out, and I'm like, I want to play more Silent Hill F. Like if I didn't have other things to play, I'd probably be going back and getting the other endings right now. But like I have too much stuff to play. Like I really like Silent Hill F. But the combat, yeah, I can see how the combat would push people away. Like they not only added like an easy mode, they now have like a casual mode past that. Like it's very obvious. So you have to have like 2 easy modes just for, you know, people to get through the game. Obviously the combat is a problem, right? Like that is enough of a design choice to go, okay, this is not good, right? Like there's a problem here, right? And like that's when I realized, I was like, okay, yeah, no, that's why when people are like, yeah, I can't get with the combat, I'm like, you're not the only one. When the game needs 2 easy modes, you're not the only one that doesn't like the combat. You are far from alone. Sort of is why I kept going. If I wasn't invested, I would have stopped after spending an hour the first fight. Yeah. You also get a disconnect from the story for some reason. That's interesting. I'm very curious as to why that is. Not that it's a wrong opinion, Void, or anything like that. I can understand that. There's a lot of people that feel disconnected with a lot of stories in the Silent Hill series that I completely, like, I'm like, really? You know? But no, I really man, like that game I really, really do like. Like, it's very hard to, like, it's going to be hard for any game to overtake Silent Hill 3 for me. Like, that's my number 1. Like, Silent Hill, no. It's gonna, they're going to have to really cook to take Silent Hill 3 from me. But like, overtaking Silent Hill 1 as number 3, yeah, I think F was able to do that. Overtaking Shattered Memories is also going to be very difficult, which is what my number 2 is, because Shattered Memories, with the like psychologically analyzing you and then changing the game, that mechanic plus like the story is actually like pretty cool. Like mechanically and story-wise, I really like Shattered Memories, which is kind of like a hot take, apparently. A lot of people think that game is, like, garbage, and I'm like, really? Like, I don't really agree with that, but, you know. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like the Wii, like, functionality, like, playing the game doesn't, like, feel great, which I can understand, right? Like, playing with the Wii is not a fun time, but like, the game itself, I really like. So, like, taking the number 2 or number 1 spot's not going to be easy for any Silent Hill game, so... Especially number 1. Like, you're going to have to try really hard to overtake Silent Hill 3. But no, like I said, I really liked Silent Hill F. And the combat just never really bothered me that much. Like, if you've played the other Silent Hills, like, that combat that combat is nothing compared to some of the other jank combat you deal with. Like, if you've played Homecoming and Downpour, Silent Hill F's combat is a godsend in comparison to those two. Those games are a nightmare. I had to turn those games' combat down to easy just to be able to enjoy the game. Like, those games are a nightmare, dude. Just I've always had affinity for the stories told by a typical girl that's hard, feminine, general stuff, or felt forced, heavy-handed, juvenile, and then having to go back and try them multiple times. Yeah, I'll give you the multiple time thing. I've never been a fan of, if you want the whole story, you have to do it multiple times. It's actually one of the things that I like least about Alan Wake. Even Alan Wake 2 does it, where it's like, oh, there's some manuscript pages that you can't get without doing New Game Plus. I absolutely despise that. You should be able to get a whole story in one playthrough. So, no, I agree with that. Having to do multiple times, I am not a fan of. So I completely agree with that. Even loving the game, I do not think your player should have to play the game more than once. Now, there should be choices in the game, right? The player should be able to make choices to get different endings. I'm fine with that. But they should still be able to get all the endings in one playthrough based on whatever choices they want to make, right? Now, if you want to do, like, silly endings, like UFO and stuff, that's fine. Like, those could be New Game Plus endings, but they should be able to get a good and bad ending on one playthrough. But yeah, I've never been a fan of the, like, hey, play this 4 times and now you get everything. It's kind of why I haven't played Nier Automata, because you have to play that game, like, 6 times to get all the endings. And I'm just like, I'm good, man. I don't think I'd vibe with the combat, and I'm definitely not going to play a game 6 times to get all the endings. Sorry. That's not why I play video games. Maybe it's just too sensitized and invoke a visceral emotion. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some, like, lived-in, like, experience stuff that's probably why you're like, yeah, no, this isn't my cup of tea. And that's like, right, like, that's the beauty of horror, though, right? Is, like, for some people, it's like, okay, I connect with this, and here's, like, the 17 reasons why, and then for another person, it's like, yeah, no, I don't get this at all. You know, this is just nothing to me. It's a big old nothing burger, as the joke goes. Which is that's exactly why I love horror, is because for some people it's just absolute, like, connection, and for others it's nothing. Part so it's like, man, it's done differently. I would have hit much better. Like, part where mess with the calendar could have been done better. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm also trying to, like, avoid spoiling too much. So that's why I'm not talking about too much in detail. Because there are probably still people who have not played multiple playthroughs or at all yet. So if I'm just going like, yeah, that thing, That's why I'm doing that. So if the alt endings may maybe feel differently about it. I will say when I got the good ending, um, like I was like, yeah. Like I at first I was like, I don't think getting another ending is going to make me feel differently about this, but it legitimately did. Like it to me added to the experience. But again, I don't like the idea of having to do that as a concept. I don't like having to force the player to do it again just to get to that point. So I do not blame people for playing it once and going, nah, this ain't it, and then not playing it again. So that's that again. That's why I don't like tell people, oh, just play it again, do the new game plus, it'll be better. Nah, I ain't about that. If people play it once and that's all they're gonna play it, and they don't like that after one time, that is a perfectly viable critique in my opinion. I am not gonna hold that against anybody. So but I will say that like playing it again did add to it for me. At least the good ending. I have not done the bad ending, and I have not done the true ending. So, but I if I did, I think they would just keep adding to the game to me. Again, it would still be hard for that game to overtake Shattered Memories, and definitely, I don't think that game would ever overtake Silent Hill 3 as my favorite game. Like even with all of the endings, I don't think it'll overtake Silent Hill 3. Like I'm watching Silent Hill 3 with a friend, like a playthrough with a friend. Not my playthrough because I hate listening to myself talk. But I'm watching somebody else's playthrough with a friend, and even watching that game, I'm just like, man, this game is so good. Like, I love Silent Hill 3. Like, although I have to read the monster names to my friend because they don't know the monster names, and in Silent Hill 3, the monster names are important, right? And it's so funny because like when you're reading the boss names, it's like, the first boss, Splitworm, the second boss, Missionary, the third boss, Leonard. It's just like, what? It's like two of these have obvious like references, right? The third one is just a guy named Leonard. It's like, who invited this guy? Leonard. But man, they look like monsters to you. It was so funny because my friend pulled up a video that was like they were like, the question that never got answered because of ambiguity was, they look like monsters to you, and like we never got an answer if the monsters were actually human. And I'm like, yes, we did. They're monsters, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, some people obviously really don't pay attention. Because, like, the first, like, literally, because we were watching the playthrough, I was watching it with my friend, right? And when you get done with the first area, the mall, which, a little bit of spoilers for Silent Hill 3, it's not, like, major spoilers. When you get done with the mall, you talk to Douglas, and he literally goes, "Did you see those monsters, too?" Douglas literally answers the question before the question's even posed. Douglas sees the monsters, so obviously the monsters exist. Otherwise, I'm sorry, is Douglas also seeing humans as monsters? Are you both insane? Like, what does that do to your theory of they're humans but monsters, right? Like, it's just silly. It's just silly how, like, little people pay attention with some of some of that stuff. It's like, yeah, the symbolism of that quote is, you know, sometimes people are monsters, right? Obviously, that's where that quote is referencing. But in reality, like, they're monsters, right? Like, they're not. He's not trying to say that they're actually people. He's trying to gaslight Heather into think that she's some sort of serial killer. Because Vincent is a bad guy. Who would have thunk? You know? But yeah. Some people are crazy, man. It's crazy. But I love Silent Hill. Silent Hill is definitely one of my favorite game series of all time. It's so funny too, because like I talk about Silent Hill a lot, probably too much, and like it's so funny because like I was thinking about recently, like I've talked about like how I still feel like we probably shouldn't talk about like Resident Evil and Silent Hill in the same breath because I feel like they're just two different types of things. Like one is psychological horror, one's action horror, and they really don't really fit together. But like I always try to remind myself that like the love I have for Silent Hill is probably the same love that people have for like Resident Evil. And it's crazy to me because like I don't know. I always forget that sometimes. That's a weird sentence. I tend to forget that is what I mean to say. And it's just like because for me I just could not connect with Resident Evil the way I did with Silent Hill, and just like trying to imagine that in reverse is like impossible for me. Like I could not imagine not liking Silent Hill, right? Like I just don't know how you could not like Silent Hill, but like I can understand it. I'm not incompetent or anything, but to me it's just like I just don't know, man. This is wild business to me. What do you mean you don't like Silent Hill? But it's going to be interesting seeing, because they talked about how they wanted to like release like a Silent Hill a year or something crazy like that, and I'm like, okay. And the problem is I think they want to catch up with Resident Evil, right? Like there's like a billion Resident Evils with all the spin-offs and stuff, and I'm like, you guys do know you don't have to catch up with Resident Evil, right? Like just make a few more good ones, and you know you'll be fine. You don't have to play keep up. You can just make a few more good games, and you're good. But unfortunately, I do not. I have a concern. I have a concern. But I don't know. We'll see. Because like two of the three things that they're like announcing as new projects aren't even done by Konami, I don't think, because the two of the three is like one's Townfall, which I don't think is being done by Konami, and then one of them is supposed to be the Silent Hill 1 remake, which is done by Bloober. So it's like two of the three projects that they're going to be like, oh, this is going to be part of our yearly release, is not even done by Konami. So if they're doing like an in-house project, technically only one of those is going to be an in-house project. So like that's not as bad as it seems. That they're going to have multiple teams working on it, that's actually okay, because that's kind of what they did with Call of Duty. Like, now I know that's a bad one to reference, but like Call of Duty, like Black Ops was worked on by Treyarch, and then they had a different team working on like the Modern Warfare, you know, the mainline stuff, and they kind of like backed and forth between them. Now, of course, they had varying quality, mind you, but but we'll see. Like I said, I'm hopeful, but I'm also very worried. Because that's gonna be a lot of Silent Hill. I mean, a lot of Silent Hill. Maybe I should just finish doing the outside since I'm already outside. So that way, once I do the inside. Problem is, we're gonna have to get all the way up there too. Spa barrier. Is this all part? Oh no, that's probably counting the inside. I was like, is this all part of the spa barrier? Why is it not popping? It's counting the inside. Okay. I guess they put the barrel there so you could do that that trick right there. Okay. But no, we'll see where they go with the Silent Hills, because there's still plenty you can do with a psychological horror game that I feel like they can explore. Hey, what's up, Worsk? How you doing today? Heard all over trying to vape the pain away. Ah, well, good luck with that. Hopefully, you see some sort of relief. Tell me how that works out for you. I would love some sort of way to get rid of all my pain. 24/7, non-stop pain. Job's killing your body. Yep. Yep. I'm stocking so many doors and windows, I have to beg to get help. Yeah. Well, that's the unfortunate thing about work, though, right? Like, if they expect you to do the job, and if you need help, you're not doing the job right. It's just like, that's not how that should work. Okay, where does this floor end? Right here. It's just like, yeah. That's why I tell people a lot of times that people are like, man, I gotta do my best at this job, and I'm like, you do understand most jobs don't really care about you, right? Like, you should be doing just enough to get your job done and get your paycheck and make people think you're doing a good job, and that should be it. Because if push comes to shove, most jobs do not care. Which is sad to say, but do way more than you should, yeah. Well, I'll put it this way, like, I know it sounds very bad coming from me, but, like, the last job I worked, I had to quit because of medical conditions. Like, I'm disabled now. And I worked the last job, and basically everyone I worked with lost their job like 4 months after I left. Most of them over the phone because of the pandemic. But basically, yeah, they were just like, hey, we don't have work for you, so you're fired. Like 80% of the staff, they just let him go. Just bye. And I don't think they rehired anyone back, essentially. Right? Like, it was insane. Like, most places, they don't care. They really don't. They will do whatever helps their bottom line. Like, it's very sad to say, but I have seen it more often than not. I've had my my brother-in-law worked at a place. He asked for something, and he got that thing, and then like a month later they let him go. I had a student who literally won awards within his company. He was like, hey, so I need this like change in my insurance. He asked for a change in his insurance. They fired him the next day. He literally won awards in his company. He had like physical things from winning awards for his company. They fired him the next day for just asking for a change in his insurance. I'm not kidding. That is legitimately what happened. Like, he had to stop coming to class when I was teaching because he had no job. Like, I wish that was made up, but that is legitimately what happened. Like, fractured toe, they didn't want to give you workers' comp. Yeah. Yeah, it's insane, man. It's absolutely insane. Now, don't get me wrong, not every single job is like that, but a lot of them are. There are some jobs that do care about you, but they are few and far between. Like, everyone wants to think every job cares about you, but I promise you most of them do not. So... As soon as you start affecting their bottom line, you are a liability and they do not want you around anymore. I promise you. That performer in my department, I feel like it doesn't. It probably doesn't. Again, I like I just said, the guy was literally won awards as like top salesman and everything. He asked for a change in his insurance and they fired him the next day. He had to stop coming to college because his company fired him. Like, he couldn't even finish. He couldn't even finish getting his degree because of his company. Like, it's insane, dude. Yeah, no. And the thing is he was actually an older guy. He was like, I want to say like mid-50s, right? Like, he was an older guy. This was kind of like his like last shot to really like get college in there. He probably wouldn't have been able to go for it again. So to have that kind of like pulled out from under you, yeah. Because he literally was like, "Hey, can I talk to you after class?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I talked to him after class, and he's like, "Hey, here's what's going on. I don't think I'm going to be able to go." And I was like, "Well, you just need to talk to the dean, and they'll work something out with you." And I never saw him again. So wouldn't view work the same ever again? Yeah. Yep. Yepers. It is, capitalism is an absolute destructive power. And anybody that deifies it does not understand what they are deifying. Because they have not been mistreated by the system yet. But they will be. And then they will understand, and then it'll be too late. That's what's happening now? Yeah. Yeah. No, we're at the part of capitalism where it's starting to devour itself, and by devouring itself, it's ruining everyone's life. Yeah, that's where we're at now. And people are just now starting to notice, but the problem is that it's too late. Right. We're at the part where greed has taken it too far, and there's no way to really stop it. It's going to implode, which is what happens with capitalism. Capitalism eventually gets to the point where it devours itself and destroys everything. Like, it is very bad. It has always been a bad system. It will always be a bad system, but unfortunately, the people that make money from the system try to convince the people who don't make money from the system that it's a good system, and then the people who don't make money from the system see the people that do make money from the system, and they go, "Oh, well, I can be like that," and they don't realize that, no, they can't. They don't realize that the people that they look up to, that they think that they can be, they can never be. So they think that the system works because they can see who the system works for and assume that they can be one of those people. Right? It's an illusion. It's essentially a sleight of hand. It's like, look over here while I'm, digging through your wallet. Insurance companies? Yeah, no. Insurance companies are a scam. Do you know how insurance companies actually work? So, insurance companies, the way a hospital bill works, is when, or any sort of like doctor's bill. They don't, yeah, basically. So whenever you go to a location, we'll say a hospital bill, right? Whenever you go to like a hospital, right? They have a price written down for how much something costs. So let's say you get a Tylenol, right? The hospital will say that Tylenol cost $10, right? And yes, you might think that's silly, but sometimes they will write down like $10. If you don't have insurance, they bill you that $10. If you do have insurance, the insurance goes, "Hey, we know that Tylenol is 10 cents. You're getting 10 cents." And the hospital goes, "Okay." And then they pay them 10 cents. Now, what happens is depending on the insurance, the hospitals have, or they used to have, they probably still do, what they call black books, which tell them the different fees they charge different, like, insurance essentials. And they're like, okay, this insurance will pay 10 cents, this insurance will pay 15 cents, this insurance will pay 17 cents, right? And depending on who they're talking to, they charge different amounts. And then what happens is your insurance, if you have the insurance, what the insurance basically does is they go back to you and go, okay, what you're paying me to do is essentially negotiate that down to 10 cents. So you pay me to tell the hospital to pay 10 cents. Because if I wasn't here to tell the hospital to do that, you would have to pay $10. That's it. That's what insurance does. They basically tell the hospital not to rip you off. That's what insurance does in America. In America, is they tell hospitals not to rip you off. Don't understand how many people get duped into thinking it's possible universal health care. Yeah. But that's essentially all insurance does is tell hospitals and stuff not to rip you off. It's sad. It's very, very sad. And then insurance just they just make you pay so much money to keep doing that, essentially. Universal income would not be. Well, the thing is most of the systems that like we would have to put into place, like the things like an actual like livable wage or like universal health care, like those systems would not be difficult to put in, and we could afford them. The problem is our government doesn't want to do that because in order to fund those programs, we'd have to convince people to care. And people don't want to do that. We've told people it is more beneficial for them to care about themselves than to care about others. It's the same reason why people won't house the homeless, right? People go, well, I paid for my home, why should I give away another home? That's literally the argument people make. I'm not kidding. People will literally ask you, why should I give someone a home when I had to pay for mine? That's why they won't house the homeless. They would rather someone die in the streets than give them a place to live because they think people should earn where they live. The problem with those structures isn't that we couldn't afford them or we couldn't set them up. It's that people don't have empathy because we've created a society where empathy isn't second nature. We've created a society where being cutthroat is more important than taking care of one another. That is the problem. These systems like aren't really that expensive or hard to enact. Like, I think it was Utah. They were like, hey, we're going to put money into a system that houses the homeless. They fixed their homeless problem, 97% fixed. And it costs them less than they were currently using on their housing or their homeless crisis. Because they realized to deal with homelessness, it costs them more to have someone go to that person, arrest them, assign them a case manager, have them deal with the court, imprison them, all of that stuff, all of the stuff to deal with like the legal side of homelessness. It cost them so much more to do that than it did to just give them an actual place to stay. So they solved their homelessness by just giving people somewhere to live. Right? And that's the problem, right? Is because people lack empathy, and we live in capitalism. So capitalism doesn't want people to not make money, which is what happens when you pour money into systems where people are not making money. Too many corporations to make how the system works detriment. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's also just capitalism. Capitalism is another reason. Capitalism is a big reason why. Again, like the people that believe capitalism are going to save everything are not people that understand how capitalism works. But yeah. Yeah. Between the lack of empathy and capitalism, it's basically not going to happen. Why there's so much propaganda on Canadian waiting here. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's so many things telling you about why those systems will never work in America when most of them are legitimately just lies. They're legitimately just like, this is untrue. But people buy into it because it's easier to believe the lie than to realize the truth is that their system is failing. Right? Because if they have to admit that their system is failing, they have to admit that it's wrong. And if there's one thing people hate to do, is admit that they are wrong. Right? And that is another big issue with people, is like, they don't want to admit, like, oh, capitalism is a failing system. No, it's not. It's like, but here are all the examples of how it's failing. It's not failing. People just need to work harder. It's just like, what? How did you get to that conclusion? Like, right? People will literally do everything they can to fight off the idea that they are wrong. Include be more wrong. Like, they will legitimately just lie. So an article thinks people should work at a younger age to fix the economy. Yeah, no, child labor. They legitimately, they would want people doing child labor before they'd realize that capitalism is failing. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. Extending retirement age, yeah, that was actually a platform for the we'll say a certain party in the American government. They ran on that platform, and people voted for it. People voted for a platform to extend the retirement age. They want people to work until they're 85 years old. Actually, I think they wanted to extend it to 80. They wanted to extend it to 80 or 75 or something like that. They wanted to extend it another long time, right? Like, it's just like. And people are like, yeah, I'll sign up for that. They wanted to take away their benefits and then extend the retirement age. It's just like, you do understand, all they want to do is just keep making money off of you, right? Like, that's what that means. They don't care about you. you are a dollar sign to them, and until when you stop being a dollar sign to them, they will move on to the next person that is a dollar sign to them. Like, that's where we get back to that thing we were talking about just about a minute ago, that, like, companies do not care about you. Most do not. You're making them money, they're happy. You stop making the money, you're gone. They will find any reason to get rid of you. Especially if you raise a ruckus up out of it. That's why, like, you mentioned the word union, they fire you. Right? In most cases. Because it's like, oh, you want rights? Nah. No thanks. We're not dealing with that. I mean, wrestling's been around literally since, like, the 60s. They still don't have a workers' union. Every time it's been mentioned, people have literally been fired. Like, that's literally there's a guy named what's his name? Jesse the Body Ventura. Like, the reason why Hulk Hogan got famous and Jesse the Body Ventura didn't is because Jesse wanted to unionize. Jesse wanted to protect wrestlers, and Hulk Hogan sold him out. That is how Hulk Hogan got famous. I'm not even kidding. That is how Hulk Hogan got famous, is by selling out Jesse the Body Ventura, because Jesse wanted to unionize and protect wrestlers. He was literally like, "Hey, they're gonna do the thing," and then they were like, "Haha, no, they're not." He was a union buster. Jesse's talked about it on a number of occasions. And that, I mean, that's not even the worst thing that, like, Hulk Hogan's done, mind you, but, like, still. Literally famous for being a union buster. Because Jesse was like, hey, people should have protections in place because they're literally putting their bodies on the line. And they're like, yeah, not today. And that was back in, like, the, 80s, essentially. And they still don't have a union. And it's 2026. Like, yeah. Yep. But it's sad. It really is. It's very, very sad. Is this wall not clean? Lower front wall. What's making it dirty? Oh, is it this, like, these sides, or? No, it's definitely not that. But, so we can't believe we got to this flavor of dystopia. I kept telling people, I literally told people for the past decade, people were like, oh, we're going to have a zombie apocalypse. We're going to have a zombie apocalypse. I was like, no, we're going to have a socio-economical apocalypse long before we'll have a zombie apocalypse. And people were like, what does that even mean? I'm like, watch it. Like, that's what's going to happen. Like, we're closer to having cyberpunk than we are having zombies. And it's sad. Like, people thought we would have Mad Max before we'd have zombies. I'm like, no, we're gonna have cyberpunk before we'll have zombies. Where is this? Like, where are you dirty? I don't even see. I'm hitting the button to see, like, the dirt. Oh, are you doing that thing where, like, the side is like counted? Oh. Jerks that were wearing t-shirts like I pretend I'm not excited for the zombie apocalypse are the ones wearing masks in the street. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Okay. There's something going on here. Whenever I hit Q, it's supposed to show the dirt. I don't see any dirt on this wall. It's supposed to show this wall. You can see up the top left, it's got a little left on it, right? So I have no idea where this dirt is. I don't know. I'm gonna clean this wall, and then if it pops up again, maybe we'll find something. I don't know. But no, it's just absolutely insane to me that we even got to this, like, to this point. Like, it's not, like, it's weird, because it's like, it's unsurprising, it's just sad. It's disappointing. Because it's just like this could have been, and it still can. Like it's not hopeless, but like it could have been stopped, right, or slowed at the very least. But like no one wanted to do anything. Well, I can't say no one, obviously. There were a lot of people that wanted to do stuff and no one was listening to them, obviously, as we've seen. There was a lot of people who wanted to do stuff and they were trying their best to do stuff, but unfortunately, no one was listening to them. Now, horrible, horrible things are happening. But, like I said earlier in the stream, we have to do what we can, change our world, help as many people as we can along the way, because that's what we can do. Which is unsurprising. Oh, I mean, yeah, like, not to get too much in detail with it, because that's not what we usually talk about on the stream, but again, I've just in a general sense, I've said it before, people are selfish by nature, and they will do whatever serves them first, right? And that's including changing their stance to whatever best supports them, right? And that's just the sad facts of it. Like we were talking about earlier, how people will do literal somersaults to to like not admit that they are wrong. And that's all that is. That is just someone doing a somersault to not admit that they are wrong. So which, again, horrifying. Okay. This is a very weirdly shaped roof. I know most ski lodges have this kind of like curved roof design, but I think it's because there's like rocks here. It just looks a little weirder. Okay, can I get up here? So I think we've done everything at the bottom. Actually, let's look. Okay, obviously we have the front wall, which okay. Still don't know where this is dirty at. I do this and there's like literally nothing on here. Like I would think with as much dirt as there is, it's like an interior of something, right? Like one of these poles or something, but The heck, dude? Can you get on this thing? Okay, how am I supposed to get up there? I guess I go this way? I think it's this. I think it's this top area. But it says roof ledge trim. Like, that's obviously something separate, right? Right, so like, that's this. I wonder if this thing is blocking something, and maybe that's what it is. Yeah, see, that's the roof ledge trim. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this thing off. And can I place it over here? Okay, there's got to be a glitch or something. I don't know. Okay, when I hit Q, it's supposed to shine something red when you see dirt. See how this shows like red? I'm not seeing a single speck on this wall. But somewhere it's saying there's dirt. That's so annoying, dude. This is the first time we've ever had this happen where it wasn't, like, blatantly obvious. Are you serious? Is it this? Oh my god. That's so stupid. There was a slight curved area to the roof. Gotta be kidding me, man. So, this is what the wall looks like normally. So, like, this area here, this little slant was a part of it. Wasn't a part of this. This right here. That's crazy, dude. That is nonsense. That is next level nonsense. What the hell? Okay. I just needed to move that out of the way so I can more easily get to this. Lord have mercy. Okay. Okay. Make sure we do that. Ugh. This has been one hell of a ski lodge, dude. That is not what I told you to do. Ah, that's what I was doing. I was like, why does it keep switching? My finger was on the 1 key and not the Q key. Q is what shows you the dirt. 1 is what switches your spout thing. Roof underside. Okay. Underside lights. Oh, I fell off again. Is there a better place for me to put this? Not really. Guess here? That'd get me... Nope. Nope. Not really. Alright, fine. Do we have like a thing? No? Okay. Roof side trim. Okay, so it does seem like this might actually be... Oh, that's the top, okay. Okay. Okay, I'm guessing the other side trim is probably, yep, right there. Love falling out of the level, it's so much fun. There we go. There we go. Alright. It's so weird that you can't take this thing up to the top. You would think this would, like... Okay, you can take that thing to the top. It just didn't work that one time I tried to do that exact thing. Boy, howdy, this level's being weird. Oh, are you still here, Void? Or have you, headed off to bed? Okay, we still gotta do that side. Okay, I'll take that. Oh, that's legitimately what I was about to ask you. That's why I was asking if you had headed off to bed. Yeah, I was about to ask you if we were still on for tomorrow. Because I'm still good for it if you guys are. I probably was going to do a little bit of Animal Crossing tomorrow and then be ready for it. Okay. So, are we doing 5 again? Normal time? 4 or 5? Okay. We have the same time zone. We're both central. At least I think we're both central. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty sure, because, like, whenever it leaves, like, I'll be live at this time, I'm like, okay, I think we have the same time zone. Yeah. So just, shoot me a message, when you guys are getting ready. I'll still be going live probably around the 2 o'clock, my normal afternoon time. And then whenever you guys start getting ready, just shoot me a message, and then I'll tell you what if I'm finishing up or something. Because I might get done early tomorrow, because we have the KK Slider concert tomorrow for Animal Crossing, which means I probably have one more day before they'll actually let me do any of the cool stuff anyways. So I probably just do dailies, the concert, and I might be doing this by the time you guys are getting ready. So I should be, like, good for whenever you guys are good, so I'll have Discord open and everything, so. And then I probably will just do that same thing I did last week with the dual stream, where I just do Animal Crossing into a little bit of Division 2, and then take off the evening. Instead of doing trying to do essentially 3 streams a day, that's a little much. But yeah, we should be good. But yeah, just message me tomorrow whenever you guys are loading it up, and then I'll switch over. Try to mark my game right this time. I was streaming in Animal Crossing for most of our stream last week. I'm sure people in Animal Crossing were real confused when they saw the Division 2. It's like, what the hell is this? That's not... That's not Animal Crossing. No, it is not. New update's crazy, yeah. Yeah, you just... all of a sudden you're just in a different game. Welcome to the hotel where you play the Division 2. Imagine it's just like, oh, we've updated the game. What do you do in this update? You just play a different game. Just a completely different game. So I really got some stuff coming out soon in the future. Stardew Valley is gonna be, the guy who made Stardew Valley, Concerned Ape, is actually making a new game, which might come out this year, or at least I'm hopeful it will. The Haunted Chocolatier. I'm actually very excited for it. I love Stardew Valley. We haven't actually done a playthrough on the channel just because it would take forever. Patch 1.7. Yeah, I have not played Stardew in a long time. I haven't done, like, any of the updates of it. I basically played it on release, and then, like, that was it. And I played a little bit, like, after that, but not, like, an actual, like, play. It was more like, oh, that's a cool thing, and then just never played it again. How different is Stardew from Fields of Mysteria? I would say quite a bit. Fields of Mysteria is much more, like, interpersonal, like connecting with the NPCs focused, where Stardew is much more about, like, everything else. There is still, like, getting married and stuff in Stardew, and you can focus on the relationships, but I would say Mysteria is much more focused on that than Stardew. But they're both good. They're both good. I would say that, I mean, Fields of Mysteria still isn't, like, out yet. It's still in early access. But Stardew has been out for years. It has a ton of content. So, if you're looking for something that's more complete, Stardew Valley is like, the go-to cozy game. But... now, I will warn you, it does have, like, the energy stuff. So, if you don't like having to stop because you run out of energy. Like, when you first started, energy is more of a concern. Once you get into it, eventually you'll get stuff that you can, like, stay out all day because you'll have enough stuff to, like, deal with the energy. But at first it's like, okay, I've got to go sleep, and now I've got to get food, and now I've got to go sleep, and now I've got to, you know. But eventually you get to a point where it's not a... That's what turns you away from it. Yeah, that's why I wanted to mention it, because I think we've had that conversation before where you were like, you don't like the having to sleep thing, which is why I told you about Graveyard Keeper, because the Graveyard Keeper doesn't care. Graveyard Keeper, you can play that game until until you literally pass out, like, in real life. I love Graveyard Keeper. I thought I heard they were talking about making a second one, but I'm not sure. I might have had a fever dream or something. Which would not surprise me. Losing my mind seems to be on the docket as of late. But now I got Kingdom Hearts on Steam yesterday. Why did you buy Kingdom Hearts for 5 times on Steam? Don't you only need 1 copy to play it on Steam? I'm kidding. I know what you're saying. I'm just messing with you. Yeah, I have That'll make you want to pee. Anyways, yeah, straight route. Hopefully you're doing well today. Everyone here? Yeah, we be hanging out, just chilling out, having a chop, having a good old talk. But no, Kingdom Hearts is one of those games that I need to, or series that I need to get through. So eventually that'll be a playthrough as well. I have the, like, additions or whatever, you know, the 2.7 HDD play all of the things edition. So, like, I have them, it's just gotta slot them in there, and I know they take a while, and I can't wait for all the Kingdom Hearts fans to come in and tell me how like, how 7 different people are all the same person, and how, you know, Goofy's actually the MVP, and, you know, all of that stuff, and yeah, the darkness, and how, you know, Vilgefortz won't shut up about the darkness. By the way, if you get that character reference, yeah. Yes, I know his name's not Vilgefortz. Don't correct me. Christ, this roof, dude. If you correct me, I'll start naming people after Pokemon. Then I'll make a lot of people upset. Ugh. But yeah, That's one of those series. It's funny because like when I was like growing up, and obviously those games came out much later in my life. Like there were some people like this is gonna be the series, and like I don't know. I just never really got on the Kingdom Hearts bus. It was just like never really my thing. And like I'm glad that people enjoyed it so much that like it has the 7 million games that it has. But like I don't know, just it's weird because like looking back now, I think I probably would have enjoyed it if I played it when I was younger because it's like it's real time action, right? Like it's not actually like a JRPG, which is what like I thought when I was younger because it's a Square Enix game and like with Disney characters, but like it's not a turn based. So like you can't really fault me for when I was younger thinking it was turn based given all the other stuff Square Enix had done. If you were a Pokemon, which one would you be? Let's see. Theta? Really? I don't know. I don't think Void really does the whole bows thing. Theta has a lot of bows. Like a lot of bows. I think I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I have to think about it because you gotta remember there's like 1,000 Pokemon, and like half of them I don't even know by name. Like I did, I don't know. Let's see. I feel like you'd be probably like so Weedle, would you still love me? What's wrong with Weedle? Who doesn't love Weedle? Weedle's just a little guy. Who doesn't love Weedle? I don't know. I could see you as like a Nidoqueen. If we're going like OG, like 151. I could see you as a Nidoqueen. Void. Because you like purple, right? Like big, strong purple Nidoqueen. She OG. Day one. Yeah. I can see Nidoqueen. Got the purple aesthetic, strong. I can only go with what I know. Like I said, I don't know like half of the Pokemon that exist nowadays. So I'm just gonna final answer, Nidoqueen. She's strong, she purple. And we're done with this dang place. Jesus Christ. Alright. Go to home base. And that, my friends... Let's see what we got next. Extra long limo with a helicopter on top. Nice. Alright. But that, my friends, is where we are going to call it a stream.